Hey everyone, welcome to another Grim Dawn character build. It's been a while since I posted one of these on YouTube, but I finally finished a bunch of characters, so you're going to be seeing a couple guides showing up for them on the channel. The first is going to be the Witchblade. This guy's name is BladeBlade, the Blade Arc Witchblade. The core of his design came from this pair of shoulders. These Aetherfire Benjar's Pauldrons of Vitality. These shoulders have an absurd amount of health, and they have some pretty good other stats on them. So when they dropped, I was like, wow, I, kind of want to build around these. But I didn't have a Witchblade. I also hadn't been doing, playthroughs of Grim Dawn to show off leveling and speeding through the game with various classes. So I decided to do that with the Witchblade on a stream and then posted the videos here. I finished him last week, got him up to 85, grinded him up through the natural way you grind things up, not through cheating, not through gaming the system, just good old-fashioned elbow grease and swinging a giant axe at things' faces. So he got done. And now, in this video, we're going to go over all of the facets of his build. So, the Witchblade is the Soldier-Occultist combination. And like I said, he's based around Blade Arc. So we have Blade Arc at 16 out of 16. Laceration, I have it at 11 out of 12 because he'll get a +1 to it. And that +1 will bring it to 12 out of 12. And most of the abilities you'll see laid out here, except for Blade Arc, go up to their caps. Their soft caps. So, 9 out of 12 for Warcry, 1 out of 12 for Break Morale, 6 out of 12 for Orleran's Rage, 11 out of 12 for Fighting Spirit. Capped out Military Conditioning, because you get that much health out of this ability, and it's great to cap it out. I also have Veterancy at 9 out of 10, and we need that at 9 out of 10 for the health regen, because we are going to be running the Hungering Void, and having as much health regen as possible is kind of important. Field Command and Squad Tactics are both at 11 out of 12, and I threw a point on Decorated Soldier and a point on Scars of Battle to get the extra little bonuses they provide as 1-point wonders. On the Witchblade side, we have Soleil's at 2 out of 12. It will, believe it or not, jump up to 12 out of 12 with all of our plus skills. We also have Second Right at 7 out of 12. Curse of Frailty, 6 out of 10, and Vulnerability, 5 out of 10. Blood of Dreeg is at 12 out of 16, and Aspect of Guardian is at 8 out of 12. So when we slap all of our gear on, here are what our skills look like. Blade Arc almost gets to its hard cap, 25 out of 16. Everything else gets to its soft caps. We have 1 point over on Military Conditioning, and on the Occultist side, everything gets to the soft caps as well. So, for his gear, his weapon is a Void-Touched Obsidian Head Splitter of Voracity. This thing outputs an insane amount of damage. Ultimately, you could probably find better. I bought this at the vendor in the Bastion of Chaos, and the attack speed, coupled with basically having everything you could ever want in its bonuses, made it a really good weapon. I'd probably shoot for an Obsidian Head Splitter regardless of what its prefixes and suffixes were for this particular build. Mostly because the one-hander that gives a Blade Arc bonus is not actually going to be comparable to the two-hander. That being said, if I could get a pair of, say, Demonic Pitmaster's Axes of the Void, I'd consider maybe equipping both and seeing what this character's damage output was. But with a two-hander, it scales really well with what Blade Arc is. So we're going with the two-hander, and of course we want to use Orleran's Blood, because Orleran's Might is an amazing single-target ability. His chest piece is a Devil's Cage Hauberk. I would say the chest piece is actually kind of open. This one just fills in a lot of what we want for our damages, and basically fixes one resistance entirely. 126 fire res, we don't have to worry about fire res ever again. Getting +2 to Warcry and Sigil is just an advantage, and in the footage of this guy running around with this chest piece on, you'll notice that obsidian cages pop up on the enemies. That is the Devil's Cage ability proccing. His pants are the Chaucers of Barbaros. Really, I would want something that's like Stonehide of Nature's Bounty on some heavy armor here. These work well enough, though. That's also why some of his resistances are kind of trash. I haven't done proper resistance fixing on this guy quite yet. If I did, he would definitely want something that is like Stonehide of Nature's Bounty on his pants and probably his boots. His shoulder pads are the aforementioned Aetherfire Benjar's Pauldrons of Vitality. The Aetherfire is lost on this character a bit. If you wanted to use these shoulder pads, and I mean, if you happen to have them, a copy of them, or if you get a copy of them yourself through nefarious means, a pair of Albrecht's Dualities would turn all of your chaos damage into aether damage, and thus make these essentially perfect shoulder pads for this particular character. I personally don't think I'd bother with that, even with the Aetherfire prefix. And ultimately, for this particular character, Voidfire would probably be the best prefix, amongst a couple others like Stonehide or something similar to fix your resistances. His gloves are Grasp of Unchained Might, and these are probably your best in slot gloves for a Blade Arc build. +2 to Illyrian's Rage and Blade Arc itself, really great, and it hits all of your damage types. The Unchained Fury ability is pretty cool too. Getting bonus attack speed and offensive ability. I mean, offensive ability's God, so you just basically get more of that for your character. The boot slot is pretty much open. I just happen to be running Golemborn Greaves. They're still really good, despite the tiny nerf they got. 200 armor to each, armor slot. It's really still stupendous, actually. And also, we are kind of an Eternal Trauma damage build, so getting the Eternal Trauma retaliation, pretty cool. Belt is a Girdle of Stolen Dreams. We don't have to worry about bleed or poison res with this character, which means the belt slot is pretty much open. And you can run any belt, legendary, epic, or green, because you don't need Tinker's Ingenuity. Our medal is a Black Star of Deceit. I like the little, urine stream meteors. They're pretty handy for getting another resistance reduction going. And it's not a bad medal for the build. I think I'd probably want to go for something crafted in the end. I can't really think of a legendary I'd want to go in this slot. So Black Star of Deceit, it does its job. For our amulets, we have a Peerless Eye of Baronath. We go very deep on both of our trees. Not as insane deep on the occultist side, but we go deep on both our trees. So getting +1 to all skills is pretty handy. I also like the Gaze of Baronath ability. It helps with our tankiness because it reduces offensive ability against us, which is, pretty nice. Lifeweaver Signet to give our character a core of attack damage converted to health, in addition to some nice defensive bonuses. The Life Taker proc is pretty handy since our character is in melee, which means it's going to hit a lot and thus sustain us a lot. And our other ring is a Demonic Obsidian Band of the Fox. Really, I should probably replace this with something else in the future. I just haven't found anything to replace it with yet. And finally, our relic is Soleil's Decimation. There are 3 that you could go for, and I'll run over to the crafter real quick. The 3 I could see going for are Soleil's Madness, as I mentioned, or Decimation, because Soleil's Decimation is +1 to all cultist skills, lots of offensive ability, hits 2 of our damage types. Pretty nice, right? Mine just rolled crap on Bloodburst and Black Death. So yeah, a Soleil's Decimation with good rolls on the 2 sub-skills, probably your best bet for this guy. But I actually think Oblivion is also pretty good, and you could probably roll an Oblivion of each of the, race damage bonuses, and use that, and cycle those through based on the area you're in. So Oblivion is another great option, and it also actually works with our damage types and gives us bonus attack speed. And then Necrosis is another one, and I actually use Necrosis while leveling this guy up. The curse it gives you hits one of your damage types, but it also deals vitality damage, which is a main damage type for this guy. So yeah, shoot for vitality damage, chaos damage, internal trauma damage, and physical damage. You can see my blade arcs. Let's put on our buffs here. My blade arcs, we have an okay DPS, and they deal quite a bit of all those damages. So shoot for those, and you will be good to go for that. So before I hop on devotion, stats. We have 74, 0, and 13. I actually think that should have been 15. Anyways, yeah, I would recommend after you do your 3 hidden paths, 75 and 15 for your physique to spirit ratio. You need that little bit of spirit just to handle your rings. And good news, everyone. You won't have to deal with that in the future. They're actually letting you respec that in the expansion, so you're not going to have to worry about this as much anymore. Okay, so for devotion, the key devotion ability we want is Hungering Void. So we do everything to get to Hungering Void, which is pretty easy. 15 Primordial, we can get between the Eel, Sailor's Guide, and the Lizard, with a little bit extra from the Viper. I mean, we have 20 on it. We don't really need 20 on it. That's only because of a lot of the constellations I have, like, also getting it. So, like, the Kraken, because we're using a two-hander, the Kraken's, you know, pretty much a two-hand mastery thing. And that gave us extra Primordial. The Chaos is stupid easy to get, again. You can pretty much get it from, like, you know, the Ghoul and Soleil's Witchblade and the Kraken. You don't even need to finish off the Revenant, really. So yeah, it's pretty easy to get Hungering Void. And then our support for that, Soleil's Witchfire, the Eldritch Fire thing, is really, really nice. Especially attached to Curse of Frailty. Ghoulish Hunger is okay. Really, the Ghoul, you want it for the attack damage converted to health node. Similarly, the Revenant, we only go to that node. Because all of the other nodes are pretty handy to get. But we want the attack damage converted to health. Because we want to be able to sustain as much as possible. Now I have some stuff in Eldritch, and that's only to unlock the Kraken, really. And I went with the things I have picked here, because I needed a little bit more energy regen. So Scholar's Light, even though it's not particularly focused for our build, actually kind of works because of that. And I have 2 points on the Raven just to get that extra little bit of energy regen. The Hawk is a great little constellation because of the percent offensive ability, which is, you know, damage. It's just raw damage for you. It's a pretty simple devotion layout. Hungering Void, Eldritch Fire, your 2 go-tos, and you'll get them both easily. This guy does deal a lot of vitality damage, so maybe in the future with the expansion, I would consider picking up Wendigo's Mark. But between what we've got, you know, with what we've got here, I think we're good on it. Actually, you could probably go... No, wait, you need the Ghoul. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. Maybe I could pull this point out of the law and pick up the, Wendigo's Mark. Either the Ghoul or Wendigo's Mark are options for you. Okay, we're gonna go out in the field for a little bit with this guy. I actually played him a lot while I streamed, and you can see his character development on the, in the leveling playthrough. But because I haven't actually posted any level 85 content with him recently, I'm just gonna run out and smack things around for a bit, just to show off what he can do. Now Blade Arc, it is a little on the monotonous side, but you'll actually hit really hard with it. Practically one-shot all the trash mobs, and hopefully we'll find a hero here just to smack around. I'm not really focusing on this character as a main build I'm gonna play for, you know, extensive period of time. Okay, we'll kill this hero. That'll be our demo, what's going on. So we War Cry, we curse him, and we have Hungering Void attached to Illyrian's Might. And that'll let us activate that as we need it. So we disintegrated that enemy hero. And like, we have no Aether res, and we can pretty much tank whatever these guys throw at us. Oh no, even though it is a little on the hold down left click side of builds, it's still a pretty nice build all told. As long as you rotate Curse, rotate Warcry, and you use your Gaze of Baranath, your character is really hard to kill, even against Aether mobs. And like I said, if I did a little better resistance fixing, I think he would be absolutely fine to do everything in the game. It's like I was saying, I don't have any nemesis spawns for this guy to fight, because he's not going to be a main character. But we can take down the Warden. And it's always obvious to tell when you're Hungering Void and your Unchained Might, Unchained Fury procs are going, because your attack speed ramps up a little bit. And that's the Warden dead. So that's going to cover the Blade Arc Witchblade. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time for another Grim Dawn build video guide.